Welcome back, everybody. This is Jake Paine, and this is my show, Paine to Purpose. Tonight is an awesome, special night that I've been waiting for. You are going to love this guest. Her name is Jana Uselton, the underground absolute queen of multifamily, the Southern Belle of MIA, founding member who's doing it all. You're going to want to get to watch this entire thing. She is multifaceted, has an amazing business, a couple of them, and we're going to be going over running a business without you, multifamily, and a whole lot of other wonderful things. So make sure you watch until the very end. We're going to be dropping some serious bombs. This is probably one of my favorite guests, most anticipated, so you're going to make sure you check this out. Let's go. Well, come on, Jana.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
I am.
First time.
First time
in Naples. First time in Fort Myers. I'm super excited to just be here.
It's not just Fort Myers, it's Fort Myers.
Fort Myers.
Fort Myers.
The whole, I'm excited. I think that you guys have some nice beaches. Hopefully I get to see them tomorrow.
Oh, I know so. I'm going to take you down. We'll check out the pier. We'll check out some properties. Maybe we stop and get a little croissant.
Let's go.
What's your favorite little treat of choice?
Oh my gosh. Well, that's difficult because I'm old and I've had a lot of treats.
Jana,
I've had a lot of treats.
Hold up. We're stopping that right now. You haven't had a lot of treats, number one. Number two, you ain't old. You ain't old.
And I'm from Texas, so my family cooks all the time. So I could not even begin to answer that question. I can't have a favorite. There's a lot. When you live as long as me, you've had a lot of sweets.
Yeah, stop with this old talk. So let's go ahead and jump into a few things.
Yes.
You have done some amazing stuff. Number one, I'm married to an amazing man, Dr. Tim Uselton.
Absolutely.
Absolute dog who is amazing.
Yes.
Love that man.
Yep. 28 years, I think.
28 years.
28. I know.
And y'all dated for a couple more before then, too, right?
Yes, we did. Right out of college. So that was pretty interesting. We were both cheerleaders in college, but he was leaving, I was coming in. So it was quite the, connection, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But it was like girls and guys and stunting. It was really, really fun.
Just good fun.
Oh, fun.
Yeah,
yes.
That's awesome.
Yes.
I love Dr. Tim. He's amazing. So so you guys met in college. It's kind of weird because you're at this point where it's like you've lived more of your life married than you have unmarried.
Yeah, I know.
Isn't
when
that
you
crazy?
hit that, you're like, oh gosh. Again, I've had a lot of sweets. I'm old. So that's just the reality.
Yeah, to settle the sweet debate, I'll just go first. I'm a big ice cream guy. Lately, It's been cookie dough. I love some Oreos, and I'm always down for like a little tiramisu.
Yeah, you got to do the chocolate croissant.
Oh yeah, you like chocolate? I love chocolate croissant with coffee.
There you go.
But I never do that. You never shared yours, by the way.
Okay. Rice Krispie treats with a layer of chocolate chips.
Now we're
I could eat the whole thing.
Let's go.
Contest all the way.
Okay.
It was amazing.
I love that.
But my mom has to make it.
Yeah.
Don't buy those.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was selfishly trying to figure out what to get you. So
you can't buy it.
All right, cool. So there's that aspect. How about the you've run a lot of really successful businesses. You've got your staging and design business, multifamily. You've done some coaching and mentoring. What else have you been involved in?
I mean, that's basically it. Besides the wife, the mom.
Oh yeah,
all the other fun stuff.
We're gonna forget about those,
right? But no, I mean, it's been. I started out in corporate America, marketing degree and business, and just got the job.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I started doing design and staging and faux finish painting and all of this stuff on the side that my real love for real estate started coming out. So
really?
That was the early 2000s, and started a staging business on the side because we had to sell our own home. We had bought a home before we sold one, And so it immediately had 2 offers after I staged it. And I thought, okay, let's start building on the side. And that became the main thing. And I let go of corporate America.
Wow. How long were you working in corporate America for?
10 plus years.
Really?
Yes.
I never knew that.
Yes. J.C. Penney Corporation and then Texas Instruments.
Okay.
So, and now, fun fact, we just moved a week or so ago on the 27th floor in Dallas, and I look down and see the J.C. Penney Corporation that I started at, 30 years ago.
What?
A little less than 30 years. But yeah, how fun is that? So you have to come stay with us at that apartment as well.
Yeah, I would love to. What was interesting today? We were touring some property. We're going to get some deals together.
Yes.
We talked about life goes in cycles.
Yes. That's a full cycle.
And it was kind of weird because today, we were
we signed docs
Yeah.
at the place we ate, and then we were right there almost at dinner at the same place.
Yeah, I lost my wallet in the morning, found it in the later. We originally toured a property with as a broker, but before he was touring properties with us, there was 3 or 4 things that happened. It was
First
whoa.
broker we toured a few trips ago. We're touring with him tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right? So yeah, full cycles.
Full cycle. And so to see that is that rewarding? Is it cool?
I think it's affirmation that things are working.
Yeah.
And it's just those little silver linings that you're on the right track, I believe.
And you've really, your journey of business has been a journey of faith as well.
Oh, absolutely. And
Right.
everything that we've done. I remember this staging and design company that we started on the side. I was like, this is not my business. This is God's business. He's going to work through me. He's going to send us clients. He's going to allow us to serve people through it. And I never got stuck in my business. I was always willing to hire someone and not pay myself, just go ahead and grow and duplicate myself. We find a lot of business owners, which turned into the coaching company. When we were coaching them, their identity lived in their business and they could not let go. They were control freaks. I was never that way because my business from day one was never mine.
Wow. Is that so? One thing that I think you've done a phenomenal job is you always really call out. You're like, a business is not a business until if you have to be in it.
That's right. If it cannot run without you, it's just a glorified job.
So did you have a glorified job in your business for a long time?
As I grew, I knew that healthy things grow, and I had to continue to replace myself. So I don't feel like that I ever got stuck in my business. I felt like that it continued to grow, and we just hired and figured it out. So I felt like I didn't have those main struggles that a lot of people, that once we started coaching them, we had made a lot of mistakes, but we were willing to work through them and teach them. But I didn't have the normal mistakes of just being stuck.
Oh, really?
Yes. I was always see, share, shadow, show. You see someone do it, they see you do it, you share with them, and then they start shadowing, and then you continue to move as the business owner up and out of a position. You create it for a moment to teach someone, and you keep moving.
Right. And that enabled you to grow.
Yes.
You scaled your business actually pretty quickly, right?
Yep, we did. We did. I think they have run over 8,500 homes and properties and projects.
That's a lot.
A lot.
So over the course of 5 years, it turned into a 7-figure business?
Yeah, we turned into a 7-figure business. It's probably 7 to 10 years that we started turning into a 7-figure business annually, right? We were consistently bringing in 7 figures.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And they do it without me, and they've done it without me for the last 5 years, easy, this current team that I have. And I've had to, go through a lot of people to find the right people.
So with that, have you offered them equity or profit share or anything like that?
100% my company. It doesn't mean that I wouldn't. And I am a big believer of partner companies these days.
Really?
Because it's if it's especially startup or if you buy something, it's a whole lot easier to do it with partners. I spent 15 years doing things, with team and growing and getting the kinks out of the business.
Yeah.
So that's a little different than just starting from scratch or buying a business today like we do multifamily.
Oh, yeah.
Much better to do it with a team.
Oh, yeah. And to acquire a business.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So what would you recommend to somebody who has a business and it kind of owns them? And they want to get out of it. They want to remove themselves. They created this asset, but they become a slave to it.
Yes.
What would you recommend to them?
Well, it's all about people, process, product. And so people, you have to have the right people. And many people think they can't afford people. So they really need to look at their business and see, okay, I need to drive some profit so I get a little bit of a margin so I can hire. And now those people need to do the right processes. So a process is just a proven, repeatable system that is duplicatable. Like McDonald's, you order a shake, they're going to push a button.
Yeah.
No matter what country you're in. So your system, your company has to become systematized.
Yes.
And that gets you unstuck.
Yeah, absolutely. And are you a big fan of documentation and SOPs? And all
You
that?
have to be. But I'm a big fan of recording and then doing like a transcribe me, and now it's a written, process.
Oh, nice.
And you have to record those in small chunks. So if a system changes, you just re-record.
Yeah.
But I think that you have to have some kind of guide. I always think about the football team or the pilot or any other industry, right? You have checklists, you have checks and balances, you have plays, you have the playbook. And so that has to continuously be improved, and it has to be something you follow so that you get those right results.
Yeah, absolutely. And so with that, you've got a pretty amazing event. First off, you're a co-founder in an amazing business called Model Investor Alliance. And you've really been able to build wealth for yourself and for partners and teach other people how to do that through multifamily real estate. And you've got an amazing event coming up soon, which I'm super excited to join and go to here in the next couple of months. It's called ConnectCon.
Yes.
And, hearing your vision for ConnectCon is a little bit different than what I thought it was going to be. And I think it's better. And you were explaining how it's really bringing entrepreneurs and also like multifamily together.
Yes.
So why is that so? Like, share a little bit about that.
I know Rich Dad, Poor Dad, cash flow quadrant.
Yeah.
It's all about, and we're talking about a business that can run without you, right? The employee moving to a solo practitioner, right? They're really self-employed. They're not even a business owner. They're just self-employed in that second quadrant. Now you move to the right side, which means you're a business owner. You have team, right?
Yeah.
And then we move to the the investor. So it's going from business owner or entrepreneur to investor is really that third and fourth quadrant.
Yeah.
And we like to connect them together because sometimes people are just... We like to say phase one business, phase two, phase three. Phase one, you are the business. You are a solo operator, right? That cash flow quadrant number two. Number two is you are a phase two business. They've built a team, and now they're ready to have a business that runs without them. Most business owners are just a few critical steps away from getting out of their business and actually being able to have multiple streams of income. That's what ConnectCon is. It's about them seeing the vision that they're just a few steps away from becoming an investor. And now that you're an investor, you have more options there on how you want to participate.
Let's go. We were out somewhere and I think it was like you, me, and Sergio, and you were just like, you just looked me right in the eye, or like, I don't even think it was in the eye, like it was like off to the side or something. And we were talking about how, and please reframe this or requote it. You said like, your life is shaped by big decisions. You remember when you said that?
I don't.
You said that, and I was like,
I hope it was impactful.
you said it in such a way that it was like the course of your life is decided by big decisions.
Yes. And they're faith decisions. We don't have them figured out, and
No.
I don't think we should. I think it's faith with works. You think about Peter getting out of the boat, like who walks on water? That
Yeah.
doesn't even happen. But the decision to get out of the boat, most people want to stay safe. They play safe. They live a safe life, and they have a ton of regrets. And so your life, all of our lives are shaped by these massive decisions. But really, it's also the compound effect of your decisions, the right incremental steps and decisions day after day. Now you're on a whole new trajectory. So there's paradigm shift decisions, and then there are incremental shift decisions that you look back and you're not even the same person.
Oh, not even the same. And so, like, you think about kind of those sections of your life, and you made some big changes to kind of remove yourself from your business to go into from your job to a business to another business to other opportunities, and you were able to grow all those opportunities rather quickly. And so, what was the decision factor to go from the staging and design into multifamily?
Well, it goes back to having mentors and people that you're looking up to, that you're following if you want to get there faster, right?
Yeah.
Follow and draft behind someone that's doing what you're doing. And so one of my mentors, Grant Cardone, was speaking at a conference. So I'm just going to follow the mentor, follow the fire. And the fire was speaking. So I'm like, I'm there. And it was a multifamily conference in 2021. I actually pulled up the book when we were moving. I was like, this is the conference book. You know, it's July 2021. And that was when I learned multifamily. And I knew without a shadow of a doubt this was the next thing. Because back to businesses, you know, we're buying businesses in these multifamily properties. They're just wrapped up real pretty in a business.
Yep.
And so me coming from that business mindset, I thought, okay, how do we now grow and scale, and we get to control the value of the asset, unlike residential that we had done all of those years. So, and I did see the opportunity to bring our passion of design and staging into these and help them get there faster by scaling them up with our skills and our talents and gifts. And so it all just came together really, really quickly as a vision, and I was on it, and that was it. Game on.
Let's go.
Yeah.
And so now you guys have been able to really grow this from 0 doors, 0 asset under management until, what are the numbers on those?
Well over 2,000 and
2,000 doors.
Yes, and then we LP'd first. We became GPs, right? Limited partners and general partners, as I mentioned. In that investor quadrant, you have some options on: do you want to be on the field, or do you just want to be a fan in the stand?
I love how you do that.
Get the
GPs,
paychecks?
players on the field,
That's
LPs,
right.
fans in the stands.
You got, teachers or communicators, coaching, you have to make it simple for people to understand. How do you take something so complex? Because multifamily there's a lot of complexity to it, which is, the reason we help people find their way on what makes sense for them. But most business owners that understand we're buying businesses, they want to get in the game at some point. And so we try to, as a team, work together and help them create their goals through multifamily. And I saw that path in 2021, and the rest is history. We're over 150 million assets under management. You're with us today. We were signing paperwork on another property and looking at how many tours did we do today? Four, 5? I don't even know. But that's the beauty of this industry. We can buy multiple at one time. We can have several in the pipeline, and because we're buying businesses. And now you add the fact that we're impacting people's community and lives through their homes. That's just a whole nother level of back to purpose, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And so What was the catalyst to make any of these changes or decisions or where you're at now? Do you feel like any of that came from any place of pain or things where you're like, I need to change or I need to grow? Or, like I know you said the staging design business came from an accident, right? Like we were trying to sell our house, but arriving to where you are now, do you think any of that came from some things that had pain in your life where you needed to grow and change?
Well, I think I'm a small town Texas girl, right? And so many people are born, raised in a city of 30,000 people, and there's caps on there. There's belief lids. There's just a lot of small town mentality and mindset and thinking. And so to be able to do something big and make big impact, I think that's what I wanted to do. I don't know that it came from, a big place of pain. It was more about purpose and seeing that, we could be able to help so many people really at one time. And I can either help people little by little, one at a time, or we can really make big impact together. So I say that's why we're here and what we're doing. And we have impact days, and we try to model the right way. I think pain can come from being a business owner and doing it the wrong way and failing forward.
Yeah.
Because when you are a business owner that is everything's on your shoulders, there's been pain of losing employees, like they're here today, gone tomorrow. There's been people that have quit and tried to start our same business, 10 minutes down the street. There's been people that have said, mean things or whatever, but why would I even entertain that? It's not even, everybody gets to find their path, and I can't be distracted and look at the right or the left. So I think the biggest purpose that we can live is being able to make massive impact by adding massive value.
Absolutely. And I love one of the things that I think that you have a superpower in is pulling people together and making everybody feel right at home.
I don't know. I mean, I would say that could be one aspect of me, but you talk to my partner, Sean, and he's seen me like, we have to get, like, this is business.
Oh, yeah.
Like, so there's time for everything.
Oh, yeah.
There's time to, like, rally the troops and cheerlead and make everybody feel heard and felt. And there's times to say, you got to be the hammer now.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I think that's the multifacetedness of this industry and what we do as a team. It's like the coach, right?
Yeah.
The coach has to yell sometimes. The coach has to get people in alignment. But they also have to make them feel good and know that they're winning.
And I've seen you show some teeth, like, hey, you're being evaluated too. Hey, you got to step up and perform. And I appreciate that because, people, I had a podcast earlier with Sean, and we were talking about, being a good partner. A lot of that is wrapped up in accountability. And
Absolutely.
So, I think that you've really held people accountable. And I think that's also been a great facet of your game. And so, you couple things back to purpose. You had said something about, like, it's been purpose driven. And, what would you say right now your purpose is?
Definitely to make a difference, right? If you attend our alignment meeting,
which I love, by the way. I've had the privilege of a few times.
Meeting, and why do we exist? To change lives 100 doors at a time. Like, that's what we say every single morning. And so it is changing lives 100 doors at a time. So how do we change lives? How do we make impact? Well, you find out people's need. And for most people, when we inherit a property, take over, sometimes it's the living conditions. It's just making sure that our team is taking care of the residents, at least starting out, going in, having those impact days, going in and making a difference, right? Those are the things that I say really allow us to live in that purpose. So it's general enough, it's big enough. We'll never, ever accomplish it, but we'll continue to thrive forward till, our last breath. It's something we can live out till our last day.
I love that. And so like with that, just really quick, like that purpose, like I don't think you fully got that on your own. Like that was really shaped through your faith and was an iterative process. So like, how do you think you got to that point?
Well, I think it's revealed. At first, you have to realize that you have a big call on your life.
Yeah.
And you have to step into it. You have to own it.
Yeah.
Because if you are questioning or doubting or have fear like we all do, insecurities like we all do, we will stay in that instead of saying, I have been called and built for more, and God's trusting us to keep, in his favor and keep making every next right decision so that we can keep living in that purpose. And I'll make a ton of mistakes.
Yeah.
But you got to believe that you're built for more.
How does it feel when somebody puts a box on you, Jana? When somebody when there's a lid and you're capped and you're limited and you're this, how does that make you feel?
I don't believe anyone gets the right to put a box on me. Like, why? I don't accept that box.
Yeah.
But I can't even accept it because they are not my creator. So they don't get they don't get the right to speak that over me. I don't allow it. They can speak whatever, but I don't have to accept it.
So like when you talk about being a small town girl,
Sure.
From Texas, and there's been
Which
limitations.
I wouldn't trade, right?
Yeah, I mean that's amazing,
Yeah.
right? But there was some limitations and some small thinking. And was there an event or a catalyst? Like what was the genesis of the breaking through into this superwoman Jana Uselton we all know and love?
I think it was going back to being a cheerleader, like we talked about. When you are forced, it's by your own choice because you try out for this position. Now you're in front of everybody, cheering on the football team to go score, right? To rally the crowd, to do all of those things. You cannot be in a box. You can't be small-minded doing that. It's definitely an uncomfortable situation. So I think at that early age, I learned, you got to step out. You got to rally the troops. You can't think small. Even though you're a small town girl, you cannot stay small.
No.
And so I think it was some of those little early learning exercises that I was part of that kind of started getting me expanding, I guess.
Yeah.
Because I would say I'm an introvert.
Really?
Oh, yes.
I can see that.
Unless I believe, right? Because I had this moment of if I don't share, someone misses out on a lesson that either something I did wrong that they don't have to do, or, if I can help somebody. If I stay quiet, I can't help anybody.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about that on the drive home today because I was like, man, I am very extroverted and I love people. I love sharing. I love helping people. But then, sometimes I'm like, man, I can't wait till everybody leaves. I just want to I enjoy being
refuel.
quiet. No,
That's
you
okay.
do. And so and I'm having a great time being around people. But I'm like, man, I'm quiet. And I think about that with dating and who I'm going to be with. I'm like, man, it's important to get some alone time.
For sure, absolutely. But that's the beauty of the right partner. They get it. They understand it.
Yeah. And that's something that's, I think, really cool is to see you and Tim, because you and Tim are very different. And, to see...
He's the people person, for sure.
But he's also... Are you familiar with DISC?
Yes.
He's got to be a strong C.
He's a C. He's a DC.
Really?
I'm definitely he's an I too. He's kind of everywhere, but...
He's got to be very strong in C. I think he's D in work.
Yeah, he's very driven for sure and dominant and yeah.
D in work, he's I with people, and very C also in work as well.
Yeah.
What are you?
I'm definitely a DC. I would be a DC.
You're a DC? Y'all ain't got no eye?
Well, I mean, I have a little bit of I, but I don't need to be. I don't need to be around people.
What?
No.
I am.
No.
I'm seriously shocked.
Yeah. But if I'm helping people, it's my duty, it's my obligation. I enjoy it. I enjoy the right people.
What do you think I am?
I think you're an I. I think you're a DI. You're probably a little bit of everything.
I mean, we all are, but
Yeah.
I am a very high I.
Okay.
I'm a 98% I.
I get it. I get it. Which we need.
I took the Tony Robbins test, and the guy who works with Tony, he's like, Jake, you're the second highest I I've ever seen,
Lord.
only to Tony Robbins. He's a 99, you're a 98.
Wow.
I've never seen somebody higher than you other than Tony.
That's funny.
Isn't that weird?
That's crazy.
But you know
I
what?
can see it.
I think the work.
But why are you that way?
I think about that. I think God made me that way.
Yeah. Why?
I mean, He has a purpose for it.
To do what?
Help other people.
There you go. It's the same root cause. Love God, love people. Like, that's what we're all called to do.
Oh, yeah.
So, and you love them by helping them. You love them by teaching. You love them by getting them involved. You love them by getting them out of their comfort zone. Mm-hmm. You know, like we do in multifamily. Do we believe that is the best way to, with all the different check boxes in real estate, to be able to build wealth? Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's why we teach it. That's why we have the conference. That's why we want people unstuck out of their business so they can move into multifamily. Because if you're stuck head down in your business, head down in something that doesn't make sense, you're not living your ultimate, like, you got to snap out of it. And many times it takes people to do that are living their purpose and passion.
Yeah, it takes a village for sure.
Yes.
It takes the culture. And you know what? That's something that, you know, being where I live and where you guys live, sometimes like that community aspect, when I'm around y'all, I'm so energized. But then being alone, sometimes I'm like, maybe I'm not as committed, right? But then I get around other people and I'm just like, man, what are we doing?
That's
like,
right.
what are we
Iron.
doing? It does. So, all right, just a couple things and we'll wrap it.
Sure.
You talked about MIA and multifamily and helping people. I love that. And so talk a little bit more about what you guys do at MIA.
So Model Investor Alliance. I got to break down at least model, right? Model has been a core word that if you look it up, right, it's literally, what is that framework? What is something that can be duplicatable? So we wanted to model investing, right? And we wanted to create an alliance, which is different than just a group of people. It's union, unity. And we know the power of the word union and unity. So it's like we think we're one accord. And so Model Investor Alliance was created so that we could go bigger, faster together, doing the right things in the right order, right properties, right location, everything. And so we're building, we're duplicating, we're perfecting so that we can, turn back around, and this is generations we will be the people. At our last mastermind, we said, who was the person that impacted you the most in your family heritage, right? And we want that to, not selfishly, but it's going to be a lot of us that made that difference, that swung the pendulum for the rest of our family.
Yeah.
So I think that's why MIA exists. We like to say, if you can't find us, we're not stuck in our business. We're MIA, and you can find us in multifamily. That's where you can find us.
Oh, I love that. And it's just so powerful of like what you guys are doing of bringing people together. And, I've heard it said that people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Sure. And people will never remember what you did. They'll remember about how you made them feel.
Yes.
And I've, we were talking earlier about branding, and branding is associated with feelings. Mm-hmm. And every time I'm around MIA, I always leave feeling better. I always leave
That's
feeling.
not us.
What do you mean?
That's God working through us, I believe.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But it's true. Like, I can never take that credit. If I look at you in the eye and I say something like you can tell, because I'll be like, this, that. I feel like that I try to pray every time we have a meeting, every time
Really?
that we are, well, I don't want to say I try to. I pray on what are we going to talk about? What is needed? This, that, the other. And then praying over you guys. Like, I feel like every time is intentional. It's purposeful. And so I think that's why you feel good. Because it's like-mindedness, right?
And you guys are just so present. And it's like when there's like a question that's asked, I'm like, man, that's like a ministry question asking me this. Like, people don't ask questions like that.
Right.
Because your focus is off yourself and on me or on others. I'm like, man, I feel so loved. They cared to ask me that. And one thing, I didn't get the chance to say this, but when we were in Mexico, we were talking about the next phase of my, business and life and everything. And it actually was, I said, building out teams and doing certain things.
Yes.
So you guys have done our big influence on that. Is because I saw the team culture of the alignment and seeing how you're managing all these different teams with the staging, with MIA, and like all this culture.
All the stuff, yes.
I'm like, this is excellence.
Yes.
It's kind of like, I think it was Queen Bathsheba in the Bible. You remember, she came and visited Solomon to learn from Solomon. And she gave him like an insane amount of wealth to come and learn. And I think it says somewhere where it talked about how like everything about Solomon was done with excellence. Like everything, all the down the chain, the managers, how they talked, how they looked, how they dressed, how everything was done with excellence. And people were just blown away by it. That's how they grew and became so wealthy, because they took a percentage and were just hugely successful. And I saw that, I'm like, man, I want my people to smile like that, talk like that. I want to have meetings like this. I want to have in-person culture like this. I want to have this clarity of vision. And I just don't. It's just me getting on the computer going, all right, what'd you do yesterday? I need you to do this. All right, we'll do this. Talk tomorrow. Send it to me when it's ready. I'm going to go in the corner and work for 8 hours on this. Actually, longer than that. And so it's like, I know we talk a lot about multifamily because that's what we're doing together, but I can see that business aspect of how you've mastered these areas and you're helping people remove themselves from their business and get into another business that's going to pay them passively. So it's kind of this full circle of you're really helping people in multiple areas of life. Like, and that kind of goes back to your mission of helping people one door at a time, or something along
100 doors.
that.
Yeah, right. It is. I mean, we all have value, and at different levels of our lives and phases and chapters, many people get stuck still doing $10 an hour work whenever they can go and have that hired out so they can continue to do, train, and move. And they move forward. And that's really about the replacing. I mean, one of the biggest questions you answered, I guess it was last night when we were back in Mexico. And I said, how long you have this amazing business, how many hours a week do you put into? Do you remember? Asked that. And so if you would have said 60, that would have been a problem, right? That would have immediately told me that you don't have the systems or the team in place. And it doesn't mean that you can't, but most people think they can't.
Yeah.
But you're not most people. And so your answer was 5. And maybe it's 10 some weeks, maybe it's this, that, the other, but at least you're able to say, I can duplicate myself. I think people that have an ego issue are the ones that want the control and think, no one can do this but me. And that's wrong belief system.
And even when I said that, I was like, it could be less than that sometimes.
Well,
It could.
That's
And
good.
sometimes it's a lot more. And I almost was like, whoa. Like, I know we were talking, there was other people in the room that were looking at my business And I was like, well, it wasn't always that way. Like it's been years
Well,
where
you
it
have
was
to stabilize. Like we stabilize multifamily.
there's been
your
years
business
where it
has
was
to go.
hundreds of hours a week. Right? And I'm like, y'all didn't
For
see
sure.
I can do this now because of the work I did in the
Right.
basement that y'all
Yeah.
ain't see, going broke, putting money on credit cards,
Learning.
borrowing
You're in
from
learning
my
phase.
dad to pay my employees rather than my debt,
Yes.
like to keep the lights on,
It's the hustle back then that makes you, and we make better decisions as we move forward. But
Yeah.
scaling is huge. And that's why we move from residential to multifamily. That's why we move from one business to multi-businesses, multiple businesses, is because there's scale and there's partners. It's owning a piece of a grape than a piece of a watermelon rather than a grape.
Or buying the vine, not just
Let's
that grape.
go.
Come on.
The whole thing.
Jesus is about the vine.
Yes.
And he even said, apart from me, you can do no good thing. Abide in me and bear good fruit.
That's right. Stay alive, right? It's like you can't, you have to stay close.
You got to stay close. The only reason why I brought up the whole, like, apart from me, you can do no good thing is exactly what you're saying. Like, it's God working through you. And I
Right.
believe that.
Right.
And not only that, it's also just like, Jesus' last thing before he left was like, go make disciples. Right? Go, not just like go make converts and do these things, is put yourself in other people. And that's what you're doing by teaching people how to remove themselves from their business.
Right.
And do those things. Like, you're really making disciples in these areas. It's
You
kingdom
have to.
building.
You have to. I mean, it is a multiplication factor. That's the Bible is, right? And our commands are to multiply.
That's right.
Yeah.
I just got something on that. But you are amazing. I think what you're doing is amazing.
Well, it's amazing partners like you that allow us to do what we do together.
I could literally go up all night.
Together.
So how can we find more about Jana Uselton?
Modelinvestoralliance.com. That's
Awesome.
You can find us all there. Got a great team, great leadership. We're growing, we're duplicating, we're multiplying.
2 years, 150 million under management.
Yeah.
2 years, over 2,000 doors
Nothing.
to the moon and back.
That's nothing.
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 Come on.
Yes.
Anything else you wanted to cover?
I just encourage people, don't stay stuck. If you feel like you're stuck, get around people that are doing something that you can admire, that you can learn from, and take the step of faith to make it happen.
Let's go. Well, Jana, I just want to say thank you so much. I know you got a million things going on. You didn't have to be here. You did. I am truly blessed. It's a privilege, and thank you so much for what you do with MIA, for me, for all the things that you do, and being an amazing example of what it looks like to be someone in their purpose, operating in the strong ways that you do as a mother, as a wife, as a leader. And I don't think people really understand at such a high level that you've been operating at for such a long time. Like, I've been writing a book now, and it really makes me appreciate reading a good book. Because you read a book, you're like, oh, I can do this. And then you write a book, and I'm like, man, this sucks. Like, wow, I didn't realize how good of a writer he was. Like, when you see someone operating in mastery, you don't really understand. They make it look effortless.
Absolutely.
And you make a lot of things look effortless in a lot of ways. So I just want to say thank you.
Absolutely. Well, thank you. Appreciate you, and looking forward to doing more together.